Good morning. I'm Rachel Witt, Art Programming Coordinator, Westminster Village in West Lafayette, Indiana. It is Friday, May the 29th. We're together again for a little bit of Friday in the studio at home. Our theme today is Just Add Water. Might not be what you think. Let's get started. FAQ time. So I promised you an extra long FAQ with Fred and Barney, but oh, there they are in the background. There's my evidence. No harm has befallen the fish. They are alive and well and eating often. They were fed while I was away on my vacation. Don't worry. All is well with the fish in the studios. So I have two questions to go through with you. The first one I get asked a bunch is, what's going to happen when art programming reopens? When will you start having classes? What's that going to look like? And the short answer is, I don't really know. But please know that there have been a lot of conversations about it, and we're trying to figure out the best solutions. I can guarantee you that whatever happens with the opening, from an art programming perspective, and I assume from all perspectives, it will be gradual and it will be safe, and using our best judgment. And for the time being, in the transition, I'm going to do my very best to maintain both sets of services. So as we introduce in-person classes, we will phase out the art kits, and we'll try to make sure that we're not just, okay, we're not going to do kits anymore because I'm teaching 2 classes a week. That doesn't make sense. So we're going to be trying to make some practical adjustments and use our resources as wisely as possible. So know that we're talking about it in art programming and life enrichment. Know that probably, at least for the time being, while we're in the partial art kind of land, the information about art programming events will probably come through life enrichment. Kelsey and Maria and Cheryl have all been wonderful about kind of spearheading that communication, because you all know when things are changing, that communication is key, and I think it makes sense for my communication to be in line with life enrichment and that we work together. That's what we're here for, to work together. So where you're probably used to seeing a program guide from me, you may see that, at least at the current capacity through any kind of transition, that art programming will come through life enrichment exclusively. Of course, if you have questions, well, you can always ask them of me and I will answer them to the best of my ability. So just know that we're working together. The other question that I have been asked a lot is, what about the bazaar? What about the plant sale? And I keep saying to you, we're going to make things for the bazaar. We're going to make things for the plant sale. We're going to hope for the best. And if those things aren't happening for whatever reason, if they need to be postponed or changed or even canceled, we hope that's not the case. It's a little premature to make that decision. Those aren't my decisions anyway. That's Ben's decision. But know that regardless of what happens with those events specifically, that we are still working out avenues to sell the work that's being made. And that is all of the ceramic work and all of the plants and all of the textile and all of the things that we have been making. Because one thing remains consistent, and that is that the foundation still needs our support. And they do valuable work, important work, necessary work here. And I have been working through a number of different avenues to figure out what we can do, how we can sell, what will happen. And so know that we're working on that actively, again, in partnership with Life Enrichment and administration. We're trying to figure out good avenues for that. We're kind of pooling resources and knowledge. So I feel really, really optimistic that all of these beautiful things that you're making are going to end up as an advantage to the foundation in the bank account. But how we get from point A to point B is another question. So for those of you concerned about it, please take heart. We're going to face this like every other challenge, right there with you. So I think that's it for FAQ today. I hope I've answered a little bit of your questions. As always, feel free to ask me anything you want to know. I might know the answer, particularly if it's about art in the studios. If you want to know about, oh, I don't know, your plumbing, I'm probably not the person to call. Anyway, let's move on. I think it's a great time to make a little art. All right, here we are. She's my special guest this week.
Good morning.
I've got Sam. She says, I don't make any art, I'm not creative. Well, there you have it. So here we are. We are in a housekeeping storage room.
Yes.
Is that fair to say?
Yes.
We are surrounded by the tools of the trade. Sam has graciously invited me into her where to be. We're going to make art. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, first things first. I tell you every week, we use art towels so that housekeeping doesn't hate me. So,
Okay.
unfold your towel, lay it out over your workspace.
All right.
All right. So this week's theme is just add water.
Okay.
So we're just adding water. So she's got her towel, and this kit also has a sheet of that hard watercolor paper that we use. And you want to just take this blue tape and tape your edges down.
Okay.
So the project we're doing all this week, and all three projects you see from me today, are going to be about just using kind of solid pigment and then adding water to them. So you'll notice I've used this tissue before. This is that bleeding tissue. Bleeding art tissue, and I use it a lot. It's great for you to use in your homes. It's not like sending you a little, those little packages of paint that I give you, and as I send them out, I go, oh, please don't make a mess. Please don't make a mess. So
That's good.
that's perfect.
All right.
So Sam tapes well. Okay.
Yay!
I know. You passed the test. Okay. So this is that great bleeding art tissue that we have. And Sam, this stuff is designed to release its pigment.
Okay.
And so what you want to do is just take chunks of it and tear them. Just
Okay.
tear off a piece. It could be big pieces or little pieces. You could be careful or you could be messy like I am. It doesn't matter. Okay.
I'm messy.
Okay, perfect. So what you want to do, you're just going to use this, put water down on your paper,
Okay. Then lay it
and
on.
then lay it on, and then put water down on top of it.
Okay. Okay. So
That's
water down,
Water down.
and then water on top.
Yep. And you just kind of dab it on there, and you'll notice, and you can layer pieces. Now I'm going to do the thing that makes you all crazy. I'm going to pick it up so you can see what she's doing.
Oh.
Well, wait, and my videography skills leave a little bit of something to be desired. So, camera. Oh, there we go. Oh, good heavens. There we go.
So
now
after
just-
it's all wet, just grab another piece.
Grab another piece and tear it any color you want.
Okay.
Why am I so bad at this, Sam?
I think you're doing marvelous.
Everybody's getting vertigo out there in the
Oh.
TV land. Okay, so a little water down.
Water. Paper.
Paper. And then just
And
anything that's
then
dry. A
dab.
little water. There you go.
And we leave it here?
You leave it there. Keep going. You're
Okay.
going to go again.
Do it again.
Any color you want. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, let's get a couple pieces here.
So everybody will get a little baggie from me of all kinds of colored paper. Oh, brown. She's gone rogue with the brown.
Oh yeah,
I
here
love
we
it.
go.
Okay, so you can start to see how the colors are bleeding together a little bit.
Oops.
And that's where things start to get interesting. All right, I'm going to park you again here. Oh my goodness. One day I'm going to record this and the whole thing's going to just tumble off on the floor and everybody's going to laugh at me.
No.
So I don't think I've ever told you this, but those of you who are watching this, I don't tell anybody what project they're doing before they start, and we only do one take. So whatever happens, it just happens.
It happens.
It happens. So, sometimes that works out well.
Wonderful.
So Sam, I am curious, how long have you been here at Westminster?
I'm going on, let's say, 31 and a half
31 and a half years. Have you been in housekeeping the whole time?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I started out as a housekeeper, and then I moved forward for a few years, maybe 4 or 5 years as the director,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had a little bit, had enough,
Right?
and I asked to step back down into a supervisor lead.
Uh-huh.
So That's what I've been doing since 2014.
Wow, that's wise. That's life wisdom to
So-
say like, all right, this isn't
Yeah.
for me.
Right, and I had the opportunity at the time that our executive director at the time said, "That's perfect. You
Yeah.
know, we can absolutely do that. We don't want to lose you." So yeah, it was kind of nice.
That's great. That is great. That is one of the things that I value about Westminster is that they are loyal to staff. And
Yes.
they do really try and make. I could go on and on about the things they've been doing for us during all of this crazy pandemic stuff.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, it has been wonderful. All right, so Sam is working right along here, and I am going to pause and lift hers up. I'm going to do the terrible thing. I'm going to pull her tape off. Ooh, and show you midway. I know, I always get in trouble when I do this kind of thing. But look how beautiful. See how those colors start to blend and bleed together? And that's what we're going for, because this is our finished project. I'll show you some examples. Look at that one.
Ooh, yeah.
So this is one version of it. And so even though she's putting water over everything, there will still be some neat white areas that appear. And I really like that white space.
Yeah.
But you can also, so this is just one attempt at what she's doing. And then one thing you can do is if you want to get rid of those white spaces later, you can come in and do a second round. See how
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And you get even more intense color.
Believe it or not, with the first one that you just had,
Yeah.
some of them look like butterflies. If you look, this here,
Oh, you're
they
right.
look like butterflies, and
Sam found
you're not even knowing what you're doing.
Okay, so this
So-
is our lesson in surrealism today. That's looking at art and being able to identify things in it. So there you go, Sam. She's evoking the masters right now. And I want to show you, this is the finish. So these are definitely destined to note card art. See how pretty that
Yes,
is? On a
I
nice little
like
white
it.
frame when we get it cropped. That is the final project. Now, you know that I always make whoever my guest star is here, I make them finish their artwork. So Sam's going to finish up here. But I've got one last question for you, Sam.
Sure.
What, if you had one thing that you could say to our residents, what would it be?
Oh gosh.
I know.
One thing
There's a
I could
pop-
say.
Yeah, just,
Oh
you
my
know,
gosh.
some bit of advice or encouragement or something that you might say to them right now in this crazy little world we're living in.
Well, I know what everyone's thinking. When is my house going to be cleaned? So, I can say in the next couple of weeks, we are going to start phases. So we have a phase 1, a phase 2, and a phase 3 that we will be doing starting in a couple of weeks. I will send out a notice of when that will start. That's my encouragement to you. We are right here beside you. You're not doing this alone. So,
And the end is in sight. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I've been really impressed by the house cleaning kind of kits in the lobbies. That's really a
Yes.
nice thing to offer.
yes, we've had the sweepers, we've had the Johnny mops, we've got the towels, the cleaners, all there for you. Anyone can use them. And just take them back to the designated area which is on the first floors of every building.
Oh, housekeeping kind of rocks, don't they?
Yay!
Yay to Sam. Well done. When she's done with this, I will put the picture right up there on the screen so y'all can see her
All
fine work.
right.
All right.
Yay!
Thanks, Sam.
You're
Okay.
welcome. Thank you.
Project number 2. Alrighty, so we're going to go on project number 2. I'm really excited about this project for a couple of reasons. First thing is, many of you have asked me about OMA, and Opening Minds Through Art, of course, is one of our specialty programs here at Westminster. And a lot of times you've asked, like, well, what does the art look like? Or you've come to a show and marveled at what the art looks like. OMA art, the OMA model, is based upon, it's a fine art reference, but it's abstract. And so there's no drawings of chickens and bunnies and apples on a table. It's really about expressing yourself just using the color and the shapes and the lines and the tools available. So what I'm bringing today is an opportunity to do one of our OMA projects. So this is for anyone, obviously, to do. Typically these are done in the OMA setting with art partners in a whole format, but the reality is they're just really good art at the foundation of it. So this is an opportunity for you to see a little bit of what it's like. So what you'll receive in your kit is, ta-da, the set of instructions. These are actually OMA instructions, but they're step-by-step, 1 through 10 on this particular project. This is one of our original OMA projects. When I went to OMA facilitator training, this is the very first project that I ever did. So for sentimental reasons, I'm pulling it out. And I'll show you some sample artwork here. You can see kind of that abstract. You can see the glitter on that one quite a bit. And so what we're looking for, this is called the Dreamcatcher painting project. And you start out with your piece of paper and apply. First things first, you're gonna get this odd bag. This is full of different sizes and textures of yarn. So you tape those down over the paper, kind of like a dream catcher, and then follow the directions to apply color on top of it. Now, usually then you would just return the paper to me, and I would make a note card out of it or whatever and send it back to you. But this is just Add Water Week, so we're doing something a little bit different. This is an example of, you see it there, oh, the reflection's bad. An example of a glass slide decal. So this is a piece of OMA art, this exact same project that somebody else has done. And I have digitized this, printed it on a special variety of paper, and then these are applied to a glass surface. They are hand wash at that point, but they're very, very stable and sturdy. It's not going to peel off. It's a wonderful product. But I know that you probably don't want any more glasses. But now here's something fun. I have a set of these, 36 of them actually, and they are a glass drinking bottle with a nice screw top lid. These are, even if you're not interested in a water bottle, these are hugely popular right now. Make an excellent gift, make an excellent bazaar item or item for sale. And because, so the glass is sloped a little bit, and so I had to put the project on vertically. These are straight-sided, and so your piece of artwork that you do will actually go across the center of it as a band, an art band. And then these are, they're glass, so of course none of that BPA stuff. They're really healthy to drink out of. They're easily cleaned and sanitized. All those things are good. And you're probably wondering, they're not particularly heavy. This is no heavier, actually this is lighter than this drinking glass. This has got a real heavy glass foot on it. So these are really a nice product, and I'm excited that we have a little bit something different to put your artwork on. So that is project number 2, and we'll move on to project number 3 now. And project number 3. So this one is, we're in the ceramic studio. This one is a ceramic project. If you've never done ceramics before, this one might feel hard to you. It might feel a little bit difficult. But those of you who have done ceramics, I think this will be pretty comfortable. What we're doing is, and this looks kind of like an odd thing, doesn't it? What this is just a piece of plain old newsprint. And I've used velvet underglaze and just painted some shapes on here. They're not particularly detailed or beautiful. You could do lines, you could do stripes, you could do circles, you could do swirls, whatever you want to do. This is just on plain newsprint. So I've just used a sheet of plain newsprint paper. And I'm going to take it on this greenware jar. And I'm just going to place it right around the middle here. And you can do this, actually, maybe I'll put it up long ways like this. Let me turn it so you can see it. But what we're going to do is transfer that design onto the clay container. So we've used underglaze. I think that'll work. Maybe I should come down a little bit. There we go. You kind of pre-cut this in the shape and the size that you want. You put all the glaze on there, you let it dry, and then water. And I'm just going to spray that water onto here, and you can see I'm kind of holding my thumb on it and saturating the paper. And then I'm just going to use a sponge and blot the back of it. So I'm trying to get a nice clean transfer. And I'm just going to use my sponge over the back surface of it. There we go. I've got a dry spot. I may need to spray it a little bit more. There we go. I'm going to just give it a good rub. And a little bit of water just reactivates that. So that's all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to peel my paper off. Ta-da! I know, that's fun, right? And here's the thing, it doesn't need to be perfect. I could have rubbed it a little bit longer here in the middle and gotten a little better surface coverage. And I suppose I could touch that up with more underglaze if I wanted to, or I could try and put this back on and sync it up. But it's supposed to kind of give this weathered look, this non-precise glazing look. Kind of like it's an old piece of ceramic. Here's another one I did as a tester that's just red and black, and I put black circles down first and then layered red stripes over the top of it and then turned it and pressed it all in. But it's a neat way to kind of add some different colors, some different designs, and a little bit different aesthetic onto the pot very quickly. So I just quickly painted it on the paper and then pressed it on. And I would discourage you from trying to do anything too precise. In other words, don't paint like a picture of your favorite dog on there, because the detail of that will get lost. You're really looking more to try and just transfer a pattern or design in a really quick way. So that is project number 3. If that suits any of you, let me know and I'll make sure and get that one out to you. Our potter friend, our collaborator, Lynn, is sending me mini flower pots this week, 12 of those. So we will be doing this process on flower pots. Be a great one for leaves or flowers or stripes or patterns. Great one. So, all right, I think that's it for making art today. I gotta show you what's in the kiln room though. Alrighty, so this is kind of a combination of what's new in the studio and show and tell. We have a lot. I just did a bisque load, and I want to show you kind of what's available because this is also work that's available to glaze. I did a bunch of these and just went ahead and bisque fired them so that some people just enjoy glazing, and I know who you are, and so I wanted to make sure I had a good inventory. So I want to show you, we've got a set of 4 great little bowls. We have a set of 4 of these great little lidded containers. We have a handful of these kind of plain, this is about a 5-inch vase. We have just a few of these little wee baby vases left. And what else do we have? Oh, we have got a little drinking tumbler. This was an experiment with the lace when I was trying to figure out the technique. I did it with the piece of eyelet, and I liked it so much I decided not to throw it in the bucket. So somebody can glaze that. And then we also have our first go round of the lace containers. Aren't those great? All fired up. And so we have our first go round of these that are ready to be glazed for the dining room tables. So plus still bowls and mugs and pots and a whole variety of things. So this week, if you're looking for art kits from me, you might be interested in doing a bit of glazing work. This is as complicated or as simple as you would like it to make it be, but I wanted you to have a look of what all is here and the studio is available to you. Every week, starting this week, I just did the glaze technique. I'll be demonstrating a new glaze technique, and next week we'll do one with overglazes, so you can take a look at how that goes on and how that handles if you're not already familiar. It's a great beginner project. So that's it for show and tell and what's new. I have a whole lot of projects to finish and get back to you, and I know that. I've been doing a little bit of catch up. 2 short weeks in a row have kind of gotten me, but I'm almost there. And oh, there's one last thing I have to show you. This picture here. This is our Westminster entry in the Caravan of Care. Bobby so kindly drove it around town to all the participating facilities. Wow. So I think there was a problem with the face mask. It was a warm day and we were a little concerned about it overheating the vehicle. So I think the face mask did come off before it got here to Westminster, but on this side of it, you can see the decals that we made. On the other side of it, it was covered with hearts with different employees who had signed that. So know that we do care about you and we are in it with you. And I hope that you heard the honking, even if you didn't see the little baby parade is what it was. So, all right, so it's time for some art on the internet. Gotta do it. Here we go. And it's time for art on the internet. I'm excited about this week's art. The first one I want to take you to, you might not think of as art until you watch the videos. So it is the National Marine Sanctuary website. I've got the URL right up here. It's a huge site, so if you just go start to the homepage and start exploring, it would be really easy to get lost. But if you go specifically to the stories section, and that's what this URL will take you to, the name of it is Stories from the Blue, blue meaning water. And just scroll down a little bit on the page and you'll see these great kind of boxes to all the different sanctuaries in the United States. They are everywhere. Channel Islands, Olympic Coast, Florida Keys, American Samoa, Hawaii, they're beautiful. And they're little video clips that tell you about different initiatives, different things that they're doing to preserve the history, to save the waters, to deal with pollution, to deal with other protective measures, and along with just exceptional videography and storytelling. So really recommend this one. You could click on each of the boxes and pretty easily spend about an hour. In particular, I would invite you to look at the Million Waves Project video. I had no idea, and it's fascinating. In fact, I predict you'll get to the end of it and go, can't believe I never thought that anything like that, you never thought of that. Somebody thought of it. So I would encourage you to go watch that one. And not traditional art, perhaps, but art nonetheless. The next website I want to send you to is actually the Toledo Museum of Art. Because when we think of water and art, we have certain artists that come to mind, right? We think of Winslow Homer, we think of Monet, we think of Hokusai, we think of Martin Johnson Head. There are a lot of artists who kind of, where they were in love with the water and that's what they painted. And the Toledo Art Museum, the reason I ended up there today is that Winslow Homer's probably famous water scene, Sunlight on the Coast, the Toledo Museum happens to own it. So there you have it. So they have an interesting layout to their website. Again, I've put the link, the URL right down here, and you'll see that /art. That'll take you directly to the section that is the museum's art collection. And they have a nice search feature to them. So you can go in there and enter in different artist names and see all of the work that they have. Winslow Homer is a really interesting example. So some of you may know he was self-taught and lived by the sea, and he did kind of drawings, advertisement drawings. He was an illustrator for kind of his day job, very successfully. Well, in addition to having that famous painting of the ocean that he is kind of known for, they also have a lot of his old illustrations. So really kind of interesting. They have all the majors on here. And I think you'll really enjoy just kind of perusing their art collection and entering in different artist names and searching for them. If you just click on search the collection, you'll also be prompted with a whole bunch of art, just a random feed, and you can kind of just click on it in different categories, in sculpture and glass, and works on paper and paintings, all of these different things, decorative art, which is like lamps and urns and home type of things. But you can click on a section and then just scroll one after the other if you would rather just do kind of a random perusal. It's like just like going to the museum, but well, they're not open right now, and it's in Toledo. So I do hope you get on there and enjoy a little bit of art. And that brings us to our closing episode today, everyone's favorite, Jokes with John. All right, it's time for another Jokes with John and Fern and Francis. Okay, our theme this week is water, John.
Yep.
All right, what are our water jokes?
So, what kind of rocks never get wet?
I don't know. What kind of rocks never get wet?
Dry ones.
Francis is unimpressed. Okay, what's joke number 2?
Why should you never drink toilet paper or water? Not toilet paper, water.
Yeah, don't drink toilet paper or toilet water. Why should you never drink toilet water?
Well, number 1 and number 2.
Oh. Oh. And that brings us to the end. It's hard to believe this is our 10th episode of this program. Time has flown by. We'll keep it up as long as we need to until I can see you in the studio again. Thank you. Thanks for your support. Thanks for making art with me. Have a great week.